Being built in the early 1930s, the Queen Mary represents a very special period in Britain's history. She's the original ship to bear what perhaps has become the most famous name in the maritime world, being named after the monarch. She carried millions of passengers, including the Queen Mother, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, then the Princess Elizabeth, and of course the Princess Margaret. And during the Second World War, she maintained lifeline services, and in that capacity we understand that she even carried Mrs. Roosevelt to one of the waiting liners. After she retired, she became a well-known and much-loved feature in central London. And so really, she served Glasgow and London equally and with distinction for 8 decades. And in recognition of all of this, she's now on the United Kingdom's core list of historic ships, demonstrating beyond any doubt that truly she's held in the highest regard as being the last of her kind in the world.
We wanted to restore TS Queen Mary because if she had been left to rot, we would have missed a once-in-a-lifetime chance to preserve an iconic British ship of genuine national and international preeminence. We recognise that so many positive outcomes could coalesce around a repurposed Queen Mary, from educational outcomes to job creation, supporting traditional skills in Scotland, for example the skilled labour required to restore her decks and to build new masts, but also helping to support the skills of the future, for example using the very latest technology to scan the ship, and all of this is happening within an authentic and unique learning environment.
Govan is synonymous with excellence in shipbuilding, and in Scotland, and indeed Britain, sometimes we're perhaps a little too modest and we shy away from saying that we built the best, but in fact we did build the best, and the Queen Mary is a shining example of that. Of course, we still do build the best at BAE Systems, just a short distance from where we are today. So TS Queen Mary is very much a celebration of our past, a reminder of what we did as a shipbuilding nation. But she's also a celebration of the present because, of course, it's the current generation of skilled Clydeside workers who are working hard to renew her.
Using community benefit principles, as far as we can manage, the staff will be recruited from within the local community and all of the produce will be obtained locally. Our stress tested business plan demonstrates beyond any doubt that the TS Queen Mary will provide a real economic boost for the area. But perhaps most important of all, we see our presence in Govan as integral to the community. We really want local people to come aboard and be proud that the TS Queen Mary has not just come home, but she's come back to the spiritual home of shipbuilding. People often ask, what do you think the TS Queen Mary's legacy has been? And what we say is that the Queen Mary's legacy is yet to be. Our aim is to create a fantastic heritage destination and education centre here at Glasgow Science Centre. TS Queen Mary won't be a museum, but instead she will be reborn and repurposed in a dynamic role for the modern era. At the centre of that, she will host a food and beverage skills academy, which will see young people trained for the growing international cruise industry. She'll have a dynamic schools programme, which will also see 20,000 school children each year step on board to learn all about the social history that is imbued in the ship's steel and rivets. We aim to attract 150,000 people a year from right across Britain to visit the ship and to enjoy a fantastic dining experience created by the On-Board Academy.
We're absolutely honoured and delighted that Her Royal Highness the Princess Royal has consented to being our royal patron. TS Queen Mary was named after Princess Anne's great-grandmother, and of course when she was in service she carried the Queen Mother, the Princess Elizabeth, now Her Majesty the Queen, and of course Princess Margaret. So there's a real bond between one of Britain's iconic ships and the royal family, and we're absolutely delighted that that bond has been renewed and strengthened. It's truly wonderful news and a real boost to everyone who takes part in the project. Our trustee team, our team of committed volunteers, and of course the hundreds of apprentices and students who've worked tirelessly to take TS Queen Mary from where she was to where she is today.
Well, I'm delighted to say that we have raised and invested almost £2 million in the project, both in cash and in kind, since we took ownership of TS Queen Mary in 2015.
The response to the campaign has been simply overwhelming. We've raised and invested almost £2 million in the project, both in cash and in kind, in just 3 years. And this has all come from corporate sponsors, generous high net worth donors, grant-making charitable trusts, and of course, very generous members of the public. Our youngest donor is just 7 years old and our oldest donor is 87 years old. We've also been humbled by the fact that the response has not come just from the Glasgow community and Scotland, but indeed has come right across the United Kingdom and the world. You know, for example, we've had fantastic corporate support from the United States of America and indeed Singapore. So Britain's iconic ship truly has enduring appeal, and she seems to be held in affection the whole world over. But of course, I couldn't not mention the Science Centre and the fantastic support and belief that they've shown in us by offering TS Queen Mary her forever home.
TS Queen Mary is always busy with activity because we're always making progress both on the ship and ashore, and so far 2019 has seen a number of projects progress substantially. For example, all of the London fixtures and fittings have been demolished, so the ship is now a blank canvas for her refit. Our naval architects Brooks Bell planned and executed an incline of the ship to verify stability now that she's empty. And a 3D model is also being built so that the internal planning process can be progressed. Ashore, talented students from Strathclyde Business School will be updating the charity's operating business plan, again with generous support from Deloitte LLP.
We're incredibly proud of our educational interaction with stakeholders right across Scotland. We've developed out a range of exciting projects which have seen almost 300 students and apprentices participate thus far, and which have driven value in our project to the tune of £330,000. The fantastic thing is that the SME community has really got behind these initiatives in providing professional support. So for example, students from Strathclyde Business School created our operating business plan with support from Deloitte LLP. 200 apprentices from the City of Glasgow College have come aboard to work on the strip out and the deck restoration, again supported by Clyde Marine. And finally, students from Strathclyde University Civil Engineering School worked on our shoreside design with support from Business Stream. These are all tangible, real-life, authentic, experiential learning experiences, and it's something that we are so very, very proud of.
Our published plan is well known and has been evolved over several years. It demonstrates clearly how TS Queen Mary can become a wonderful heritage attraction for Scotland and indeed the whole of Britain. So the trustees remain focused on the published strategy.